Hey, what's up, guys? My name's Jonathan for Liberty. We're back again with American Experiment Radio. We're here today with Hans Herberg. He's a somebody who's heavily involved in the Liberty movement. He's a political advocate and is thinking about running for office here coming up. So we're gonna have Hans on. Welcome, Hans.
Hey, what's going on, man? Thanks for having me on, Jonathan. It's an honor.
Yeah, it's our pleasure, man. We've been trying to get you on for a few weeks here, but we have been really busy, so we're glad to have you on. It's not every day I
Hey,
meet
totally
somebody
under.
with a criminal justice degree from Mitchell College. What drew you to this area of study? What got you into that?
Well, when I was a kid, I always wanted to be a cop when I was young because, like I had a neighbor, family, friends, and I was very inspired though. And then somehow I was going to be, but unfortunately, I decided I want to be a huge supporter because, this is what happened. I got mugged in 2017 outside a movie theater, and I dealt with a lot of depression and sadness. Actually, when I got jumped by five guys and I was held up at gunpoint, so it kind of changed my life. So I became politically active. So that's why I became pro liberty and pro Second Amendment. Because I feel
Sure.
like there's a lot of good law-abiding citizens who are disarmed across country, unfortunately, and then criminals don't follow the rules. Unfortunately, you know how criminals support gun control, but unfortunately, it does hurt a lot of law-abiding citizens. But yeah, I've been pretty much active in the grassroots movement.
Yeah. I understand you've been out there knocking doors for Young Americans for Liberty. What are some
Yeah.
hot button issues that struck a chord with you? Like when you talk to voters, how do they align with your personal political convictions, especially the people in your district?
Well, I asked people what's the most important issue they care about. I could tell you, I ran for assembly a couple years back. They talked about the issue was, taxation issues and also government regulation. So, because New Jersey was like a blue state, actually. So I told them, I care so much. I'm more of a liberty Republican, actually, and
Mm,
conservative. So that's why I tell them, hey, what's the issue you care about the most? I door knocked myself on the door, and I told people I'm not a part of any establishment. So that's why I told them, they need someone who's in office short term, not like long term, like 20, 30 years.
sure.
Yeah.
And I know you have a very diverse upbringing, being from Minnesota, New Jersey, Norway, being around the world essentially. Can you share some stories or experiences that you've had that has had a significant impact on your political views?
Nothing much was really when I was in Norway. I was too young actually, but I was born in the U.S. actually, but then I flew to Norway because my father was there. But I guess my parents decided to move back to the U.S. because they feel like I should have, the family should have stronger and better education so I can graduate and set up for success. I was born with ADHD and disability kind of thing, but as a kid, how in Europe they kind of judge people when they're young and they saying, hey, you're not going to do success when you get older and everything. Like, so my parents said, time to go to US and set up for success and education. And you know what? Look where I'm at today, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
I
mean,
mean,
even
no, go ahead.
oh no, even when I moved there to Minnesota, and then Minnesota, I kind of grew up there, and then I moved to New Jersey. Even when I was in my senior year, I know it's tough transitioning, moving back and forth, and then going to college in Connecticut, and everything. But New Jersey has actually been home to me as well. And I learned about each states have different political grassroots, though. But I feel like education is mostly important to me, though.
That was
Liberty.
actually one of the next questions I was going to ask you. So you're going to run for assembly in District 22 in 2024. That's your plans.
Oh, actually,
What do you
oh,
hope to bring to?
well, that was a couple years ago, but no, the next cycle is not going to be till like 25.
Oh,
Actually, so
okay.
I'm not running for this. So I'm not running for this year race. I'm still debating if I should run for 2020 congressional or 25 assembly. I
Right.
did a
No, I
lot of.
was aware. I was aware that your election bid in November 21 didn't go as planned. I thought the next one was 24. Maybe are you going to start campaigning in 24, or is that what you were saying? Or
Correct though, but I'm still want to strategize and learn from experience. But I gained a lot of voters. Actually, some people switched parties. From independent Democrat to Republican because tell everyone I'm very liberty minded though.
yeah,
What's going on, and also my goal is help build a grassroots movement because it's all about building up your platform base for the community.
yeah, that's always good. Whether or not you win or lose, when you put in put in the effort of going out and campaigning and talking to voters and knocking doors and making a lot of phone calls. That work has never gone to waste. Even if you know, lose the election, you still have those lists, you still have those connections, and maybe you can try again next time. You know what I mean? You always have another chance to run for that next one.
Exactly. I mean, even I talked to a lot of people. They said, "Wow, this is the first time we've seen a Republican knock a neighborhood." And I told them, "Yep." I mean, I asked them when was the last time a politician knocked at their door, and they said some of the people said only during election time. And I say, you know what? If I get elected, I promise them, like, I'm not going to show up just only during election season. I'm going to reach out every day. I mean, no matter what, if anybody needs help, support, it's all about do that. You want to be a public servant. I mean, because voters are the employers and I'm the employee. But hey, if I do something wrong, they can vote out. I mean, it's that simple, though. I mean, voters should be considered employers, and then we elect people.
So can you, or let's say if you were decided to run again, can you describe your platform kind of like in a few key points? Like if I were to put your face on a piece of lit, what would be on the lit?
Well, my thing would be America first and policy, though. I care about, even pro liberty, pro con. That what I would do. And I'm not sure what else to add. I would bring in like, liberty minded warrior, though, who would stand up to the constituents, though, not to party bosses or to the machine, pretty much to the establishment, let the voters know, like, hey, give me opportunity again, for office. I'm not running as a Republican, I'm just running as my own person, running for the party. But, these guys aren't the employers and stuff. You know what? I don't speak for them. I speak for the voters on their issues. What's going on. Like, hey, if they're mad about taxes, you know what? I'm going to fight for taxes and say no to overspending, balancing budget, fight for everybody, and stay active though. And I wouldn't even be behind the desk all day. I'll even reach out to voters if I can and do that.
And given your firsthand experience in firefighting and emergency services, do you have like any innovative solutions you would propose to this or anything you could bring to the table in regards to that?
Well, I did it from 2011, but I haven't done it since 2013. But I love volunteering. I mean, it's all about giving back to the community. Like I tell everyone, hey, I support first responders, I support police, fire, and EMS. They do a tremendous job, but I also want to make sure, like, they're not used for political gains or anything like that. Hey, it's all about working with the public. Make sure create an awesome community, and for not just for a community, but for our whole country, and help everyone make a huge difference.
Do you remember a lot about the politics when you were in Norway? How does it differ from over here? What's the politics like over there? What's the like the political climate like?
Well, they're actually socialism, but medical socialism. I mean, I could tell you a story about that. I mean, I know they provided healthcare and everything, but I could tell you a story though. I mean, my father's mother, when she got sick, they had to call for help, and then what's crazy about the emergency help, they asked how old you are, and then he told her the actual age, and then they said, sorry, they can't do anything to help, and then he called back and lied. She was like 20 years old or 30, and then they showed up anyways, but then they had to transport. But I don't know, it seems like there's socialism and medical over there.
Yeah, what are the gun rights looking like over there in Norway?
Well, I know there are certain licenses I've seen. I mean, I'm not too sure. I mean, I know like you got to apply to be a bear hunter or like certain licenses. I'm just letting you know, like there are some strange laws over there in Norway, though. I'm not too 100% familiar, but I told me we probably want to look that up though. But I know they have to have certain licenses and even applied for it though. I mean, I know it's probably easier to get in the US than other places.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, at least it's probably better than UK. I know UK it's banned though, but I mean, at least there's a little bit lenient in Norway from a little bit.
Yeah. So you said you're more Republican, like a Republican leaning libertarian, you're a libertarian, but you're like more Republican leaning. Is that what you said?
More conservative leaning libertarian. I mean, I got into politics. I could tell you the truth. When I was in college, 2008 and 12, I didn't know who to vote for actually. I mean, but I learned about the grassroots of Ron Paul, when it was called the Ron Paul, revolution. And I guess Ron Paul is the reason why I got into politics. He spoke a lot of things that make sense and even helped open my eyes and mind. Even when I joined Yale actually helped me open a lot of things, with liberty movement.
Yeah, for sure. So, do you support Donald Trump?
Well, I do though. Actually, like I know there are some things people can disagree on, but I mean, I do like his foreign policy. I mean, I can tell you the truth. I mean, he was the only sitting president, that was, you know, that didn't start a new wars actually, because I mean, there's been a lot of useless wars. You know how each president's like, whether Democrat or Republican, they always start new wars or you know something that's overseas, but he never started new wars. He just wanted to create peace, so and stability for the world and U.S.
Absolutely. What do you think about the current administration?
I'm probably gonna get banned for this one, probably. But I would probably say probably not very supportive. I mean, I've seen a lot. Most of the Democrats actually, aren't too pleased with him as well currently, as
Yeah,
well with the Biden administration. Unfortunately, I mean, like with inflation prices and war and everything. But
yeah,
I mean, I don't know. It's a long story though, kind of thing. I really hope we can have some great new leadership. That put us at first though, and make sure we don't start any wars or anything like that. And balancing budget though. I mean, that would listen to the American people though.
yeah. I know that's right. Well, did you have any particular issues you'd like to talk about while we're on the pod? I mean, we're just sitting here kicking it. I pretty much just ran through a lot of my questions, but I apologize
Um,
to the audience. I'm in a campaign house. I'm on the road doing something. That's why my setup is a little weird. It was really rushed today. I'm really tired. I was in Central Park. It was fun. It was a good day.
oh, nice.
Yeah. You ever been to New York City, Hans?
I haven't been there before COVID. To tell you the truth though. Like, I mean, only commuting between like the trains and stuff, and not like to Central Park or some places.
Right. I would imagine you just hang out down here all the time, being that you live in New Jersey.
Yeah, pretty much. I was like an hour from the city, actually. I mean, when I was in North Jersey, I hanged out by the lake, though. But I mean, during my campaign, I've been doing a lot of grassroots, actually, helping candidates cross country. I mean, hey, if I'm not running for office, I'd rather help out and do as a cause, though. Kind of what EL is doing. I mean, I really love it. I mean, what's good about campaigns, you learn about the communication skills and you talk to the voters and talk to the people. I think that's good though, because a lot of voters feel like, oh wow, you're the first person to come to our door. I mean, they always appreciate stuff. I mean, because I can tell you, sometimes the television, like social media, mainstream media, a lot of them don't tell anyone anything about things about the candidates. So that's why they send volunteers out the door though
Yeah.
to help out. So I mean, it's a good cause though. I mean, I know during COVID, I mean, everyone did phone calls actually, and I know some people don't like doing phone calls because everyone accuses somebody might be a solicit, scammers on the phone or anything, which they're not. But yeah, I mean, I feel like the most issues I've seen over the years, I mean, it's been a lot of censorship towards, the conservative community. I could tell you, I mean, I'm very admired with Elon Musk. I mean, when he took over Twitter, he did speak a lot of truth, though. I mean, he's one of the guys that inspires me. Like, at least he believes in there should be platforms and that should be open to everybody. No one shouldn't be censored. I mean, it's just for having conversation, though. I mean, let's say if there's a topic issues, instead of censoring over not liking, I mean, it's great to have a conversation and talk about it and even have a debate.
Yeah,
So, I
for
mean, there has
sure.
like neutral, like politically neutral platform where, I mean, it's having a free speech, though.
Yeah, I mean it's rough out here in regards to free speech, especially on these social media platforms that are controlled by special interests and big money.
Yeah, corporation money. I mean, Elon actually, I mean, at least he puts, everyone at first, though, because, I mean, I know he's a Republican, but he seems more libertarian when it comes to free speech. I got to respect for that. I mean, free speech, though, I mean, that should be important, though. I mean, it's kind of like Yale is doing. They're fighting for free speech on college campuses and across the country. And
Yeah,
really want to help make a difference. And I can tell you the biggest issue is, censorship when it comes to free speeches. I mean, if I was sitting in a room with someone, it's great to have a conversation, discussion, but don't get villainized and get censored and that kind of thing, and vilified, if you know what I mean.
sure, sure. So in your upcoming bid for assembly or for you said it's assembly, right? District 22?
I'm probably thinking about down the road, if not maybe congressionals, but I'm still undecided. So I was just, letting audience know that, I'm still going to be undecided though at the moment, but I'll probably make announcements soon though, probably before the summer or fall hits, but it's not official. But I want to strategize. It's important. I got to talk to family, friends, ministers. Like pastor at home kind of thing, talk about advice and what I can do, and even close loved ones. I mean, see what I can do. I mean, it's always important, even before making an appointment. I mean, let's say if you got a surgery coming up or appointment, actually. So, I mean, it's always good to have a sit down and talk about solutions before making the big decision. So, I'm definitely going to do that, though. I mean,
Absolutely.
I decided not to run this year because I was helping with grassroots, actually, and also I've been dealing with health issues. I mean, I'm going to go on record about this. I mean, ever since I had COVID, well, not COVID, but sorry, ever since I took 2 vaccines or something, I've just found out, I have Crohn's disease, it's, with the stomach issues. And I mean, you probably see me when we're on the campaign trails and dealing with medical stuff, but, I feel like, I got to take care of my health, family and friends, and even work and pay bills. And, that's why I kind of postpone, political campaigns. But my goal is I'm looking to come back to, get involved with the race soon. I mean, just a lot of things have happened since, 2020, though.
Yeah, I mean, a point I was going to bring up is that it's going to make your campaigns a lot easier, I would imagine, having so much experience on the road and having done so many campaigns. Because I've heard this isn't the first time I've heard your name. Uh, you've been involved in the Liberty movement a long time, and a lot of people know you. So
Oh, definitely. Oh,
it would
definitely.
it'll make your campaign significantly easier, being that you know a lot already.
Definitely. I mean, I've done this a lot, actually. Ever since 2017, 18, I love getting involved political things. I mean, I used to work in retail and even working as a behavioral tech, working with people with autism and working with different fields, retails, and working at a theater. I mean, I could tell you though, all the jobs I've been doing, but what makes me happy is getting politically involved and active. I mean, that's what I'm very passionate about. It's not about me, but I just feel and care a lot for our country and the world, and want to help make the world a difference, a great place. So, and doing the right thing.
Hard for me to argue with that.
Yeah,
Well, I
exactly.
mean, that's you got anything else? That's a great note to end on. I think that was great.
Definitely. And I also want to add, I mean, if anybody wants to get involved in politics, I mean, I always encourage everyone to just get politically involved. I tell people if they want to run for office, start at a local level, county, state, or something. But also too, I mean, remember the voters are always the employers. I mean, not the party bosses or establishment. I mean, you got to fight what is right, though. You got to do what you feel is right, though. I mean, even if the party or the bosses disagree, sometimes you got to do what you feel is right, though, and do that. So also I get involved in Twitch as well too for gaming. So I mean, even that helps me feel better and stuff. So I always tell people, I mean, get involved in politics, get involved in local communities, attend city council meetings, and you know, make something out of it for fun though, or show that you care though.
All right, that's a great message. Thank you very much, Han, for coming on. And this is Johnny with American Experiment Radio. Everybody, thanks for watching.
Thank you. Have a good one. I appreciate it, guys.